For one weekend out of the year, the city of Bonita Springs, Florida transforms itself into the pickleball capital of the world. Pickleball is certainly alive and well and growing. Nearly 3 million people are playing pickleball right here in the United States. And many facilities are adding dedicated pickleball courts, and in some cases, taking seldom used tennis courts and making pickleball courts. Nearly 5,500 places to play pickleball in this country. The Pickleball-Global Challenge Cup, featuring players from Selkirk Sport and Paddletech, is coming to you right now on Pickleball-Global's website, pickleball.global. Hello again, everyone. I'm Drew Wathy, and working alongside me for this exciting Challenge Cup will be Morgan Evans, a great pickleball player and tennis player in his own right. Morgan, thanks so much for stopping by again.
It's a pleasure, Drew.
Another great match right now. We came off another one where Abby David and Kyle Yates took the opening match. Right now we have aspen-kern, lucy-kitcher going up against Irina-Tereschenko and frank-fourgeau. A couple of local players and a couple of world-class pickleball players.
I'm really looking forward to this match. It should be great. Haven't seen Frank play before, so I'm excited to see what he's bringing to the table. I've partnered with lucy-kitcher in last year's Nationals, which was a good fun time. Lucy's playing today with aspen-kern. He's basically an institution in pickleball, the founder of the Pickleball Forum, which I think has around 15,000 members now.
It's a great communications channel for this growing sport.
I think we're going to see Irina playing a lot of balls to Lucy. Lucy is well known as one of the great defenders in the game. Her ability just to block a hard ball and just reset it, just as she did there.
She showed that off right there. Irina-Tereschenko, one of the really rising stars in the women's game of pickleball. Four-time All-American in tennis at Texas Tech. Originally from Moscow.
She told me yesterday she actually had the honor of meeting the Queen of England when she visited her school in Moscow.
Oh, that's great.
Hopefully showing off her tennis skills.
Great thinking going on right here between these talented players. Running clock, we have a 20-minute match. Those are the matches that are going to be going on today, and then tomorrow the headline and marquee events where the actual inaugural Challenge Cup will be going on. Jan David, the founder of Pickleball-Global, came up with this concept of the Challenge Cup and has brought out some of the best, if not the best, players in the world of pickleball. I know one of your students, Tyson McGuffin, the reigning men's singles open champion. He won nationals earlier this year in November. Has really developed his game, and he's been only playing for, what, 3 years? 4 years?
I think less than 3 years, maybe a couple. I've been playing for around 3 or so, and he came in after me, but he's really taken the singles world by storm. Next year I'll be playing most of the majors in doubles with him, and we hope to do well here today as well. Tomorrow, sorry. We'll be playing against aspen-kern and Kyle Yates.
And I know they have the marquee matchup. The men's singles will be the final match of the day, and I think they have Tyson going up against Kyle Yates, so that should be a heck of a match.
Yeah, those two always have a fantastic game together. There'll be a lot of trickery, a lot of fast movements. They'll leave it all on the court, blood, sweat, and tears.
This game is all knotted up at 2 apiece. A little under 16 minutes to go. Second match in this Global Cup Challenge Cup.
That ball was just called long. So Kitcher and Kern going up 3 points to 2. And Kern getting in the way of that ball, just hitting him on the shoulder. A flesh wound, nothing more.
This year, lucy-kitcher, last year I should say, won the silver medal at the Grand Canyon State Games. She won a gold, a silver, and a bronze at the U.S. Open, and a bronze medal at Nationals. So, pretty impressive resume for her.
She knows her way around the court for sure. There's a fantastic point brewing here. Oh,
Great rally, though.
fantastic pickleball.
Good crowd on hand here at the International Tennis and U.S. facility here in Bonita Springs for the inaugural Pickleball Global Challenge Cup.
Yeah, I've never seen a store quite like this.
It's amazing. One half of the store, beautiful retail, a lot of merchandise, big display of pickleball equipment and accessories, a lot of tennis equipment. And then on one side, they have a dedicated pickleball court with some beautiful seating, some temporary seating and some bleachers. And they'll probably have about 200 people right now, and they'll probably have about 300 tomorrow. So a great turnout for this inaugural Challenge Cup.
They're living the dream out here.
Florida, one of the true hotbeds for the sport of pickleball. A lot of the warm weather climates are catering to pickleball. Arizona, California, Nevada, all very strong pickleball communities right now.
That's aggressive play there from Tereschenko. Trying to get the better of Kitcher in the heads-up battle.
And Lucy didn't like that ball, so they're bringing in another ball.
Irina proclaiming to Lucy she's hitting too hard. That's what's killing the balls. Franklin kind enough to supply the balls here for the Pickleball Global Cup Challenge.
Oh, nice shot, Fourgeau, right down the middle.
You gotta love that name. It really rolls off the tongue.
Fourgeau.
He's definitely got a storied future in pickleball.
Both Aspen and Frank, pretty big guys.
Yeah, but both moving very well as well. Oh, and he's just left that up a little high, and Lucy taking full advantage.
Tereschenko looking for a ball right now, another ball. Serving at 2-3, 12 and a half minutes to go in this second match of the Pickleball Global Challenge Cup, coming to you live from Bonita Springs, Florida.
Yeah, that scoreline really is in stark contrast to the first game, where I believe they got up to around 18 points, one side in particular.
Yeah, this game featuring a lot of long rallies.
Long
a lot
rallies.
of great net play.
And tough to really score points on serve, so returning sides defending very well. Oh.
And one more morning match coming up after this one. Yates and David again will be on the court playing this very same Tereschenko-Fourgeau tandem. Kyle a little bit under the weather earlier, but played pretty well and seems to be doing okay right now.
That was a good-looking rip from Tereschenko into that right shoulder area of Lucy-Kitcher. And if you're at home and you're not quite sure where you should aim, wow. If you are going to aim at someone's body or a roundabout, then for the average right-handed player, the right shoulder is a good spot to go for. That forces them to have to quickly transition from backhand to forehand.
That was wide, but great exchange on that point.
Yeah, fantastic defending from Tereschenko and Fourgeau. Aspen, that's an uncharacteristic risk for him. He typically would like to dink that ball cross court until the cows come home. Ah, there's Kitcher, the voice of reason.
That's another great exchange.
Just a note on the scoring system here. The teams that make the semifinals will be teams that win matches, but then if there's a tie, it will come down to points. So these players are looking to score points slightly faster than normal. You wouldn't know it from the scoreline right now, but they're trying their best to pull the trigger a little earlier than normal. It does make for exciting pickleball.
This is Team Selkirk going up against Team Paddletech. You know, and last I had read, Morgan, there were about 70 paddle manufacturers in the United States. You, Selkirk, and Paddletech, two of the very finest. What distinguishes paddles from one another? I know there's the honeycomb technique and different kind of fabrics per se, but what distinguishes a good paddle from another?
Look, it is a very individual taste. The varying kinds of composites that these paddles are made from really can give one paddle great power, but not necessarily great feel, and vice versa. So it really comes down to whether your game needs a little extra pop, or you have all the power you need in your own arm per se, and you need something that can really control the ball. That also comes down to the weight of the paddle as well. Heavier paddles typically being more powerful. Lighter paddles can give you a faster hand for those exchanges at the net, but don't give you quite as much power. The graphics play a huge role as well, and Selkirk has been fortunate enough to be voted as the best looking paddles out there. Especially that new blue Maxima I keep hearing about. Shameless plug.
When the sport first got started way back in 1965 on Bainbridge Island with the McCallums and the other people that started this sport, wooden paddles pretty much were the rave of the sport back then, and now they can still get a wooden paddle for as cheap as $10, and the good ones can go as high as about $125, $150.
Yeah, that's correct. I've used a few wooden paddles in my time, and I actually really like them. There's plenty of power. They've got a lot of weight to it. Not a lot of texture on the surface, so tougher to spin the ball. But whatever works for you.
Well, the score right now. 5-3 Tereschenko-fourgeau in the lead. We're down to just under 8 minutes to go in this second round match of the Challenge Cup.
I enjoy this event where the local stars come out and play with the pros. It's going to be a little different tomorrow. It's going to be all business.
And they're holding their own. It's
very well. We might be looking to recruit some of these. Soften up nicely. Oh, and he's
that was one
him.
shot where maybe his big size took him to a disadvantage there. A long way to stretch for that one.
That is one of the few issues being a tall player on the court. Reaching down for those very low balls involves a lot of knee bend. Perhaps just a little partnership miscommunication there.
And that can happen sometimes when you're not familiar with your playing partner.
Indeed. Short return.
Drew Wathy with Morgan Evans at the inaugural Pickleball-Global Challenge Cup here in Bonita Springs, Florida. Irina-Tereschenko, Frank-Fourgeau going up against Lucy-Kitcher and Aspen-Kern in the second match. Matches all day long, and then tomorrow the inaugural Challenge Cup featuring some of the world's finest, if not the finest, pickleball players.
Oh, that's a beautiful roll. Frank just left it up a little high, and Aspen with his long reach. I think he's around 6'3", possibly 6'4", Aspen-Kern, with a huge wingspan, reaching in to roll that ball through the middle. Frank's getting picked on a little bit here, and when you're playing with someone like Irina-Tereschenko, that's going to happen.
Oh, great shot by Kern down the middle.
It was a miss hit, but he'll take it.
1 point away from knotting this match up. 7-6. Tereschenko-Fourgeau in the lead. Kern serving.
And we've got 6-7-2 here. It's a very close game. And they've tied the score at 7-7 with just over 5 minutes remaining.
Totally different feel of a game than the first game, with Abby David and Kyle Yates pretty much had that one in control from the get-go. This is going right down to the wire. Another put away by Tereschenko.
I'd like to see Irina and Frank here switch positions, stack to get Irina on the left, make Frank a little more difficult to get to. Ooh. She tried to thread the needle, but unfortunately just sailing long.
That hit Fourgeau, so.
Yeah, caught him on the shirt.
Thank you. 7-7-1.
Just under 4 minutes to go in this match. 7-7 the score.
Oh, a lovely cross-court dink.
Great reaction hit by Tereschenko.
Beautiful. I think Lucy can't afford to forget what got her to the dance. She's a fantastic defender. Usually waits for someone else to attack before she counters. In that particular instance, she took a chance and paid the price.
Tereschenko to serve, 7-all.
Point.
How well are you able to put some spin, put some English on this ball?
Yeah, look, with modern paddles, the majority of them have some texture on the surface, and a ball like this, the Franklin X40 performance ball, you can certainly shape it. You can typically get more backspin easily and side spin that way. Top spin is a little more tricky, but that's more based on how wrists and hands work in particular.
How about just the act of playing indoors as compared to outdoors? Well, you know, you don't have to deal, of course, with any wind or, you know.
It can certainly lull you into a false sense of security. Everything seems a little easier out here, not having to worry about the elements. Timing of the ball is much easier on this court. I found I did a clinic on it yesterday, and it was a real pleasure to play on.
Oh, that went wide.
Just wide. And with 2 minutes remaining, that's crucial. That's tied the score. And we've got Kitcher serving to Fourgeau at 8-8-2.
Can't keep it up around the shoulders with Tereschenko.
No.
She'll put that away every time.
Yeah, she'll murder those.
Yes. Time. You want timeout? Timeout. First time.
A timeout
We got
with
a
1 minute
timeout, yeah.
25 remaining. That's going to burn the clock. Are they playing?
Oh, the clock is still running, yeah.
This is interesting. Yeah, but they might be playing for the draw here. Could be an interesting tactic. Aspen, not sure about this.
Yeah. Fourgeau and Tereschenko talking over things as well.
Interesting.
Pitcher grabbing a drink. So, yeah, they're kind of, clock is going to approach 50 seconds to go here, and we have an 8-all tie here in the second match.
It looks like they're hoping to get one more possession of the ball. It's all going to come down to this fourth ball here.
Oh, and that one's wide. They're up now 9-8.
I think that tactic's going to work against them.
9-8-1.
Be a good time for them to call a timeout.
Exactly. Wow, Fourgeau, a nice forehand.
And I'd say that's the ball game right there.
Yeah.
10-8-1.
Frank-Fourgeau, irina-tereschenko.
Yeah.
Going to capture the second match here in the Global Cup Challenge.
Oh.
Second server.
And Irina, if she checks the scoreboard, she will serve quickly.
Jokingly wants to have a timeout. That's going to do it.
And that's game, set, and match.
Irina-Tereschenko, frank-fourgeau, winners 10-8 over Lucy-Kitcher and aspen-kern here at the Pickleball Global Challenge Cup. And we'll be back with third match action with Kyle Yates, Abby David against Tereschenko and Fourgeau right after this short timeout.
As I need to. With the power, with the control, with the softness, it's going to take anybody's game to the next level.